Hi, we're the Beer Sisters.
I'm Tara.
I'm Crystal. And we're here in Toronto, Canada today to bring you an Alberta beer that's coming to Ontario. It's their Kriek from their coolship program, which is brand new. One of the first coolship programs in Canada, and especially one of the first to have such a big release of beer. 3,000 bottles, spontaneously fermented.
Yeah, and this is also a Beer Sisters first. It's our first time ever doing sponsored content. We've been asked to do it in the past, but we're
picky, and the only reason we do it is if we absolutely loved the beer anyway.
Yeah.
And so Big Rock sent us an early bottle, like scratched in silver on the label. We tasted it a couple of weeks ago and loved it.
Loved it.
So it made a lot of sense for us to share it with you guys. And so this is a really exciting program. I first learned about Big Rock's having a cool ship when I wrote a story on wild fermentation for the Globe and Mail about a year ago. So Paul, the brewmaster there, had traveled to Oud-Biersel in Belgium and been inspired by this old world method of brewing beer. And so he brought it back to Alberta. And what happens when you make a kind of a Kriek style beer or Lambic-style beer, you spontaneously ferment it.
Yes, which means that with the coolship, the beer is all left open on the top. They open up the doors of their brewery and they let all the flora and fauna come in and go into the beer and ferment it, which kind of introduces all kinds of wild and funky flavors.
Yeah, and they don't literally like fling open the doors because that would be like a lot of air coming in, but like they call them like louvres, which are just like little slats in the ceiling to let a little bit of like ambient air come in. And there's kind of this like mythology around Belgian-style lambics that they're all in these cherry regions with like strong fruit orchards, and all of the microflora coming in is from the skins of fruits, and that's why it's so amazing. But in fact, some of the best spontaneously fermented beer in the world comes from urban centers in Brussels, like Cantillon. And so really you can do spontaneous fermentation anywhere, but you're going to get a completely different beer depending on the microflora that you capture at that time and what's available in the region. So Big Rock's microflora, they're sort of like in an industrial park. I was looking on Google Maps and there's like a trucking center and then like a kid soccer center. But the brewery also has a really big garden of like a hops garden. They have like 6 beehives, and they have 5 cherry trees. Yeah, Evan cherry trees, which is where the cherries came from, along with some extra juice, because 5 cherry trees, 3,000 bottles of beer, doesn't quite add up. But Paul was saying he thinks some of the garden microflora is what's coming in. They're near a river, but you're also going to get industrial park stuff, and that's what makes it unique. And really, like, no one is to say that microflora from the skin of a cherry isn't any better than microflora from the hood of a truck. It might not sound good, but there's really no scientific evidence to say anything else. I've talked to a bunch of yeast experts on this, and I just find it fascinating that Big Rock has its own kind of sense of terroir. It's really, spontaneous fermentation is the only way you can really express terroir in beer that no one else can mimic, by sort of capturing ambient yeast in a way.
So is this like a taste of South Calgary?
Yes, my friend.
Tastes good.
South Calgary is very tasty, I would say. I just love the nose on this. Like, as soon as they sent us the bottle and we cracked it, I was like, ooh, this is gonna be good.
And we were skeptical at first. Getting lots of funk, lots of like hay, barnyard, funky notes, which is great.
A little bit musty, what you want to see in the lambic, but also a big bright pop of cherry, almost like cracking a can of like cherry pie filling, that rich dark cherry.
Yeah. And like a little bit of strawberry, like fresh, like Ontario summertime wild strawberries.
Nice.
Up the creek.
Ooh. That is very tart. So much rich, kind of like cherry pop in the middle.
Very bright, yes.
Of the palate. And then it kind of races off on this like little bit of acidity at the end.
And then some dryness.